Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of our mini album tutorial. Today we are going to be looking at 3 months. Okie dokie, so we have done month 1 and month 2, so we are now going to do the next double page, month 3 and month 4. So this is going to open up this way, so we are going to have a flap going to the right, similar to this style, but I'm not going to do a tuck spot on the front. And then we're going to have a pocket. So let's grab our scrap pieces. Again, I've got them in my little. Now, I'm going to need a ½ inch on that, so that is only going to be a thin flap. So I'm thinking for this one, we're going to need to cut a new sheet, unfortunately, but that's okay. We can do that. So let's get the height that we want. It's going to be literally like a millimetre. It would help if I could actually see my lines, wouldn't it? There we go. Excellent. So we will create a ½ inch flap. And then we will trim this down. Give it a quick check, make sure it does actually fit, because you don't want to start adding glue and things until you are sure that what you've got is going to fit. And in fact, I'm going to trim off just a tiny sliver, just so that it's not quite catching that edge when it folds in. So let's glue this down. So how are you guys doing? I'm hoping that you are enjoying this tutorial so far, and that if you have any comments or concerns or ideas for how best to explain things to you or show you things or anything like that to do with my mini album tutorials, please let me know, because these are the first this is the first album I've done a tutorial for. Obviously I've done walkthroughs of my previous albums, but I've not done a tutorial for how to make one before, so this is my first attempt at that. And yeah, I'd love to know what you think as to how I'm actually sharing this information with you, whether you think it is positive or not. And then we're going to do a pocket. Do a pocket inside here. That's a better size. Okay. So I'll do a flap, which we will fold a millimetre or so away from that corner, that edge, so that it doesn't get caught. So to there. That's where we want to do our next score mark. you could cut it with scissors. I'm just putting it on here because it's easier for my hands. But you could have cut that with scissors quite easily. Now, I normally, in previous albums, I have done a bottom hinge as well. But I'm going to attempt this one without a bottom hinge. I thought I'd cut that wrong then. I was sticking it onto the wrong page. Perfect. Perfect. So, in fact, just had a thought. Let's use a punch on the top of this pocket. I'm sure I've used this one before, but we'll use it again. I think it's more suitable. Sorry, my brain is... There we go. And I am going to just trim that corner piece. A bit too much there, but there we go, that's better. Just to make it easier when putting it in. And now we'll stick this on. See, I get too engrossed in what I'm doing. And I'm just like, yeah, go, stick everything in, woo, go. And then I think afterwards, oh, I should have done that, or I should have done this. So I'm trying really hard to sort of get that in my head so that I'm not forgetting about it. So we're going to stick this on. We're going to stay ever so slightly away from that bend, ever so slightly away from this edge. Make sure we are lined up nicely at the bottom. Okay, nice. So 3 months, quite a simple page, a nice flap, that and that. I want to do something on here, but I don't know what. I'm thinking maybe a little flip. Something nice and small there. So let's see, we want to keep it way out of the way of the pocket. So if we come to here, give that a trim. Nice. So we're going to do half an inch, This is so much better for my hands than the little one. So much better for me. So let's check out, how wide is this? This is 6 1/8. That's the middle. So I've made one slightly longer than the other so that it will overlap. Overlap works as well. So when this goes on, we will have a smaller one, and you can see there a slightly longer one that goes over, so we can add a magnet into it. So I don't want them right at the top, I don't think. If we come to there, because I don't want it touching this at all. Do not want it touching that top. I don't want it at the top. I want to be able to see the paper. So I'm thinking here. Okay. I'll put the short one on first. There, that's good, and that will secure nicely there as well. And again, because I have forgotten, this would be a lot easier when it was not in the book. Let's do this one while I remember. There we go. Okay. Awesome sauce. So we have got, go in. Oh my gosh, there we go. So we've got our page that opens with flap, flap, and our pocket. So let's stick some magnets on this little one. We might go for some smaller magnets rather than the larger. Yeah, let's go with these smaller ones. And now I can actually show you properly how I did the magnets last time, because let me just do that to show how far we go in, because somehow last time I was off camera. So we're going to do it again, and I'm going to show you it on camera. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick a little bit of tape, and we'll do 2 magnets on here just to make sure that it is secured. So I'm going to pop one there. You want to be far enough away that the paper covers and you don't have a huge gap where your magnet is. And so I'm trying to get in the middle of this bit so that it's in the middle for both pieces. So that's our first magnet. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a magnet on top of it so that I know which way the magnet needs to be. Okay, so these magnets are going to stick to the bottom of this piece. So there are a couple of ways you can do it. The way that I do it, I take a piece of tape, I stick the magnet that way up on top of it so it's still attracted, but we've got the tape facing up ready to go on the other piece. Same with this one, pop it in so that it's still that way up. Okay, and then we're going to close this, and this will pick up the 2 magnets on this side. So we've now got this magnetised. And I'm contemplating, I think we're going to need a magnet here as well. So I'm just going to very lightly do this so that I know where we're at. And for this one I'm going to use bigger magnets. because it's a full page. So we don't want the little tiny ones, we want these sort of middly sized ones. So I'm thinking we'll do 3. Let's start with 2. See how we get on with 2. I might require 3 because of it being the full page. But again, I'm just getting off some tape. And then I'm putting this on the tape because these are not sticky magnets, so that it still attracts there. And we'll close this, which picks them up. Let's push that down. It's a lot easier to actually use my bone folder. Gosh darn it. Okay, that one has moved because it's a flap. That's a bit harder. There we go. I don't really want the tape like that, but that'll do. Okay, just give these a quick burnish as well while I'm here. So I'm thinking we need one more here. It's going to have to go here because otherwise it's going to be half over each, which isn't ideal. But there we go. This is how you make these things work. There we go. Excellente. So, and then we've got our front. Now, I'm thinking for our front to create a sort of frame with our pieces, because this is a boys mini album. I will also, do I have it out already? I don't know that I do. Also be using some solid coloured cardstock. Solid colour cardstock in these 3 blues. So I'm thinking we kind of want to match this blue. This one. So trim this down. So this is going to sit in the centre, like so. And then we're going to create a frame around it using our papers. Now, we've got the cars and the stripes, haven't we? So I'm thinking we want something that's going to go along with that quite nicely. Okie dokie, so I had a look through the papers that I already had loose to see if there was anything that would work. I wanted to do these cars, but I realised if I'm only doing ½ an inch, you're not going to get much of the image and it's going to look slightly odd. Same with that teddy bear one. So I looked through to try and find any of the more patterny ones, so the dots, the stripes, the checks, anything like that, that would fit nicely on a ½ inch strip.
I did really like the idea of the checks, but when I measured it, you would only get a square and a half, and so it didn't look quite right. So I went with the dots. I thought the dots would be a nice way that when you trim it down to 1/2 inch strips, it would fit nicely on there, and there wouldn't be sort of a query as to what this half an image was. Like, I didn't want, you know, a teddy arm and a leg or something like that. So yeah, I went with polka dots, and I just trimmed down 3 1/2 inch strips. Okie dokie, then I'm going to use those strips to create a frame. So I measured the length I wanted, cut down the 2 longer pieces, and then measured the short pieces. And then I realised actually I needed it a little bit shorter so that I have the nice craft edge around it. So I'm going to cut down the short sides, trim up the long sides, and then we're going to create our frame. There are 2 ways of doing it. I'm only going to show you one, but you could do it as a square frame too.
So we are then going to cut these into a point. So first of all, we will line these up like so. Get them nice and straight. We'll do on there. There we go. So I'm just lining them up, holding them together, and then cutting across the corner to create this nice frame look. You don't have to do this. You could cut them so that they're square, whatever suits you best. I've not done this before in an album, so I wanted to give it a go. There we go. And then in theory, this will sit on here nicely, giving an edge. Like so. Like so. And round until they all meet up. Pop that one there. And that one there. You see? So we're going to stick these on, and I'm not going to use my art glitter glue. I'm going to use my Kalal, which is a clear glue, but it doesn't dry as quick, which means I've got a little bit of wiggle time to move the strips around once I've got them all on. So yeah. Pop this on like so. In fact, I'm going to get this flat because otherwise things are getting in my way. So that's that one there. Did put a little too much glue on that first bit, but that's not a problem. Okay, and it looks a bit messy at the moment, but it'll be okay, she says, with a lot of hope. Having never done this before, and deciding to do it on camera for the first time, but there we go. So we can move this one up ever so slightly. Okay, nice corner, nice corner, nice corner, nice corner. Excellent. So I'm going to use my little one and grab a piece of scrap, because we're just going to okie dokies. So there was a bit of a glue situation. I put on far too much glue for that thin strip, but there we go. So we've got our frame, and then this piece I'm going to pop it in and just measure exactly where I need to cut. So that this fits in perfectly inside our frame. So how are you guys doing? How are you finding the lockdown? Are you still in lockdown? Are things sort of more relaxed where you are now? It's all been a bit hit and miss here. They were convinced every child should go back to school, and then they said, okay, just year 6, who are the ones, if you're not in the UK, who are going to go to secondary school, to high school next year, to get them prepared, and then reception children, which are 3, 4, 5-year-olds, because, you know, they're great at not putting stuff in their mouth. Anyway, that's what was going to happen. That's now been changed so that schools are going back in September. So it's all a bit all over the place for us here in the UK. Now, I do want a little bit of a brown. Do I want a little bit of a brown? I think I do. Just a very thin brown edge. Yeah, it's all a bit all over the place, to be honest, and I still don't agree with a lot of what's been being said and what's been being done, and it's just awful. And I've got people who, oh, of course that worked. Let's just get a new sheet because I'm making a mess. I don't want to make a mess of it. I'm going to go inside to something slightly less stressful. So let's use some of these bits in here. We haven't got a car or anything, so let's do this for our pocket. In theory this will be the right width because it should be 6, which is the width of this one. So yes, it's been I don't know, it's just been so tricky. Like, I fully support the movement, and I know we need to get out there and do things, but my concern is just the scum that we have in charge are using it to fuel more hate, which is really not the frickin' point, and it upsets me so bad. But yeah, I know, it's really bothering me because, as I said in one of my previous videos, every time I see people out when they shouldn't be out in big groups of people, I'm like, you're just delaying my wedding again, which I know is a totally selfish thing to think considering what's going on in the world, but it's one of those things, and I was so pleased when I found quite a few people actually sharing ways to support the movement from your own home, for those who can't go out. And I just hope that those that did go were very sensible and that we won't get another spike, because I fear that the scum, A, the scum who run the country, and B, just some of the people that live in this country and in America, I'm not saying it's just the UK, will use these protests as, you know, this is what happened, this is why we've got a big influx. It's just going to do my head in. And then I'm thinking we'll do up here as well, because that'll be a nice mirror for that. So yeah, I don't know, it just worries me that it's going to be used to fuel more hate, when there is so much hate out there already that we need to just stop. It really worries me because I just fear how it's going to be used against people, and it shouldn't be. But yeah, I don't know, it's really difficult. It is really difficult because, you know, and I can't go out and support, and I struggle. A lot of it is to do with the brain fog and the lack of, I don't know, everything. But I often struggle, and I've had some conversations with people about this whole situation, and they completely misunderstand what I'm trying to say just because I don't have the language that I want to use. And yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. And I just fear that this timing is so unfortunate, because as much positive as the protests are going to have, I fear that they're also going to promote even more hate in some situations, and it just upsets me. Sorry, I have to stop talking about it because it was really upsetting me actually. Just some of the stuff that I've seen, and it just makes me feel awful. Anyway, I'm going to go back to something slightly more lighthearted. So I am filming this just after my first scrap hoarders video has gone up, and if you haven't seen it, I'll pop a card up in the corner for you. But I had a little visitor, and she is sort of, yeah, bit of a mini celebrity now. There are lots of people who are asking after her and stuff, and I think it's absolutely lovely because she's a monster, but she is absolutely lovely. Love her to bits. So that's my little kitten. She's a terror, but she's also absolutely lovely, and I want this to be the same height as this. So yeah, if you saw her in that, you'll know what I'm talking about. She is a terror. I absolutely love her though. Yeah, she's my little kitten. She's not really a kitten. She's nearly 7. She's nearly 7, bless her, and she's a nightmare. I love her to bits, but geez, she's a nightmare. Is that right? No, we need to cut a little bit off of that. Actually, a little bit. Is this going to have a moan at me when I do this? Probably. There we go. Yeah, so she's my youngest kitten. I have an older kitten who, again, is not a kitten, who is, 11. It scares me that she's that old because, I absolutely adore her. She has been with me for 11 years. My baby. So, yes, I have two girls, and they are absolutely stunning, and they profess to hate each other. They really do. They profess to hate each other, and yet if one of them's not here, so at one point Magrat was at the vet's, she had an accident, and they didn't know whether this is the weird thing, they don't know whether she was hit by a car or attacked by a fox. They couldn't tell from her wounds, which I thought was weird because I would assume that those would give out very different wounds, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm not a vet or a surgeon or anything, so I don't know. But yes, so she wasn't there, and Smudge spent the entire time looking for her, trying to find her, searching for her, asking if she was around, like whining at the door to get out to look for her. So all of that time she's like, yeah, I don't like her, but actually when she wasn't there, she was heartbroken. So it shows they do actually care about each other, even though they don't like each other. I suppose that's how sisters are, isn't it? I don't have any brothers or sisters, so you guys will have to tell me. Is that how siblings are? But the funniest thing is where we live now. Where we used to live, we had a neighbour who had a cat who was quite vicious, actually. I felt for her. I think she was vicious because of her humans. You know, they left her out a lot, to the point where she had a food bowl outside that was full of rainwater in her food. It was just awful. The problem was I tried to like bring her in and look after her, but because she was so used to being outside, she just wouldn't get on with the cats, and the girls were fighting. So in the end, I just had to report it because I couldn't rescue her myself. But because of that, both my girls were a bit nervous about being outside. That would work nicely, I think. I want to cover that. So they didn't really like being outside, and then we moved here, and there's a few dogs and a few cats around. But next door's cat is a ginger tom called Prince, and it's hilarious. It's almost like we've got a stalker. Like if we come downstairs, he's literally sat with his face pressed up against the window, sort of just staring in, waiting for the girls to appear. It's kind of, it is cute. I mean, it's also kind of weird, but it is cute. Yeah, I like that. But it's really funny because Magrat cannot stand him. She is absolutely petrified, to the point where she'll, if he's outside and she's inside, she runs up to the glass and hisses and screams and shouts at him through the glass. But if the door's open, she won't go near him. So she's this big I am through the glass. And then if we open the door, she just runs away. It's cute and funny. And he and Smudge have a sort of love-hate relationship. So half the time, they'll curl up next to each other. And it's really cute. And, you know, they're... I didn't put glue on that, did I? That's why it's stuck. So why are we getting stuck? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so they'll cuddle up to each other, and let me bring this around this way so I can see what I'm doing. So half the time Smudge and he will curl up together and be really cute and sit in the sun together and everything else. And then the rest of the time she'll be running at him and hissing, and it's sort of like she's almost defending Magrat. So if he and Magrat have had a set to, then she'll be annoyed with him and get angry with him. But then if everything's fine, then he's fine. So we've got our pocket here. And then we need something for here. So I think we'll do some blue. Same blue. I'll use this sheet that I messed up big time. But yeah, they're so funny together, and it makes me really pleased actually, because they were so scared of Kit Kat at my old house, and it sort of upset me that they had such a bad relationship with the other cat, because the other side of us, there were two boys, and they kind of got all right with them, to the point where, you know, they'd go in his house because they're cheeky, and eat from his bowl, their bowl should I say, because he had two Toms. But yeah, I was really sad that they didn't get on with Kit Kat, and so it's quite nice that they do, that Smudge at least gets on with Prince most of the time. It was slightly not straight there. Okay. So yeah, it is really cute. The relationship they have is kind of adorable. in a way. I just think like, oh, it's so cute. So yeah, they are have an interesting relationship with him. I think it's cute that they do. But yeah, so where we moved to is absolutely wonderful. We've got a woods right near us, which is lovely to walk in when I'm allowed out. And in our row we've got, I'm just trying to think how many we've got. I think we've got 8 houses in our little row. And yeah, 8 little houses in our row. And we've got 2 cats. Next door's got a cat. Then they haven't got a pet. They got Bubby. Then we've got dog. Nothing, a cat, and then 2 cats, I think, going up the little bit from us. And it's so nice to have that many animals around. I'm one of those people who really does benefit from having lots of animals around. You know, if I wasn't a teacher, I'd be a vet. The only thing that stopped me being a vet was I know that it's done for positive reasons, and it stops them hurting and everything else. But I genuinely don't know that I'd be able to put an animal down. I know that sounds odd, but I genuinely don't know. Even though I know it's for their own good and everything else, blah blah blah, I don't know that I'd be able to do it. I think I would just get too emotional. And I know for a fact, like, I'd end up with every animal in my house. If people brought one in and were like, I can't look after it, then I'd bring it home, and I just can't afford that. And I'm not allowed to do that with the children, so I'm safe. Right, so inside here, I'm thinking we use this paper. Oh my god, is that going to fit perfectly? Oh, it's just too short. Bother. How frustrating is that? Because that would have been perfect. Can I do something? I was wondering, could I maybe do the polka dot top and bottom? Start at the bottom. Okay. Sorry for sticking my... Oh, hello, squeaky face. Hi. What? You come to say hello again, have you? Hello. Hello. Yes. Hello. What's the matter? Is it time for dinner or something? Oh, it's close for dinner time, isn't it? It's close to dinner time. Come on, down you get. Down you get. Yes, darling, it is your paper. Definitely is your paper. Yes, it is. Hello. You're so pretty. Go on. Down you go. Good girl. Okay, let's line these up. Ka-chunk. Hopefully that will just slot in the middle there. There we go. Much nicer. Let me trim that last little furry edge off. There we go. Awesome sauce. So yeah, she popped in again to say hi. She does that a lot because I'm downstairs and her food bowls are upstairs. So she wants to know when they'll be filled. So let's pop this on, and I have made it a very thin gap just between them. Slide that over there so we're lined up nicely. Did I take the tape off of that? I don't remember. No, I didn't. That's why it's not sticking. Come on. There. I quite like that. It's a nice centre point for that. And then we just need to do our blue on the front cover. And because it was annoying me so much, I'm going to pop this on speed up just so that you don't have to watch the arduousness of me doing this.
Okie dokie, so I got that finished. It was a bit of a faff. For some reason my brain was not working. So 3 months starts with our front with this nice frame on, when they can put quite a large picture there. I wanted to leave this so that they could have a bigger picture, because a lot of the pages with flaps make it more difficult. So 2 months has the pull out, 3 months has a photo frame. We then open it up. We've got the side with the little flaps at the top where you can journal inside. We've got a large backing piece there. Then we've got our pocket. I'm going to leave it here today just because this has turned into quite a long video already and I don't want to keep you on here for too long. So thank you very much for spending time with me today, guys. Keep crafting and I will see you all soon. Next one's coming on Wednesday. Bye.